Eyes out, beats on the track.
Welcome back for our few people watching live right now. It's good to see y'all in the building. I'm sorry about the intro. I'm probably going to have to redo the intro. It seems like it gets more choppy and choppy as we kind of do it. So anyways, welcome back to the Honest Truth Seekers Live podcast. You're one of the few fortunate ones to be in the building watching. Seeking Him Daily's in the building watching. Hybrid's in the building watching. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to a Cash App donator that we had actually offline, off air. And we don't get that often, but a huge round of applause. And a big thank you to you. It means a lot. It was a pretty sizable donation. So I really wanted to thank you. Her name or their name. I don't want to classify or gender anybody. They're going to be like, oh my God, it's a woman. Stop donating. Thank you. Starts with an A. So I just want to say huge thank you for the support to you. Hey, today we're talking about black kids, black boys. We're going to start off with a video. This video I'm showing you right now is a video straight out of Chicago. There's no audio right now, but just watch your screen for our audio listeners. What you're seeing right now is a high school, and these are bad inside of a high school. The caption is, "We ain't never shaking hands, baby Deutz." Now this is a gymnasium high school. If you're watching my screen right now, and on the guide, the caption says Jesus, you know I'm getting old. What is OFNG? Can somebody help me here? OFNG. It's 20 pipes in this bitch. Now y'all know me. I love my guns. I do love my guns. However, at this age, this is a big concern, I would say, and more because honestly, it's just not a good look, and it's illegal. It's completely illegal. So we're starting off the stream with the video, right? Because the video today is it's polarizing. I think a lot of people feel a little bit some type of way. Also, if the lighting's a little off tonight for you, I forgot to order the ring lights from Amazon, but I ordered them today, and they'll be here soon. There's a video that came out of an officer grabbing a kid. Now, if you saw it on my trailers, you saw my shorts, this kid having his body being swung like a rag doll by his hair. And of course, we're in the age of Black Lives Matter. We're in the age of protect, right? Black men, black boys, things of that nature. We had a live stream where we talked about the purge and the incredulousness. Is that the right word to use there? I'm going to go with it. Of black on black crime that happens. And also just how backwards the media seems to really get these stories as far as the accuracy, the amount of the reality, just how backwards the media seems to kind of use these stories, if you will. They play these stories And at the same token, there's a big move, and there's been a huge move against police officers because of the injustices towards black men. And today is no different. So we're at this weird polarizing time in society where the cops don't really quite know what the hell to do. They're like, do you want us to stop the violence because we see that things happen, and then you cry for us, you want us to be there, you call for us. We as black people don't have any kind of police force or anything like that I know of. I see the Black Panthers are trying to do a little bit something. We don't have we don't have a police force. There's nobody for you to call other than Ray or maybe somebody else that can handle the situation for you if the situation comes to that. But we don't have an independent law system of ways for us to be able to handle situations. So one way or the other, there's going to be white people that are going to have to be involved in the black community. And this is a big problem that I think black people have. And this is something, once again, that I don't think anybody said before. And I'm going to say it here. Black people aren't upset at the right issues. All right. Like, people are not upset at the right issues. Let me share this really quickly. Let's go ahead and we'll do a few news articles, and then we're going to go ahead and get into this discussion. But we're not upset at the right issues as black people. You see, as black people, we should be upset. And black people are really upset at the fact of the matter that they don't have a country to go back to and call home. That's really what we're upset about. And so we have these injustices that are done against us and yada, yada, yada. It's really just a more reflection. And we're really upset at the reality that we as a people are the only people in the world, essentially, quite honestly with you, that don't have a homeland country to go back to. It's only black Americans that share this very unique problem, if you will, that there's no connective mainstream line with home, with home, if you will, right? Well, you can't just go to Africa and be sovereign. But let's go back to our discussions today. I want to show you this Instagram video. We'll consider this a part of the news. If you don't know, outside of the Waffle House parking in this location of Houston, there's VIP parking.
I never see some shit
There's
like that.
Bentleys as well as Rolls Royces parked in the very front. It looks like a Challenger SRT8 as well. I tell you what.
I never
like a $500,000 worth of cars, possibly damn near $1 million worth of cars in the parking lot at Waffle House in Houston, Texas. They do have valet service. Tell you what, we are good for being ingenious and comedic at times of need. There's a man charged with attempted murder on an Asian woman. He walked up to the woman. If you're in New York, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would caution you. This video is a little brutal. We're going to spin it back. He walked up to the woman, as you're seeing right here. This was in Yonkers, New York. They're considering this a hate crime. Took a brutal swing on her, and he punched her in the video. They're going to pause it right here. Over 100 times. She had facial fractures, orbital breaks. He did quite a number on her, and she barely survived. He was, at the end of it, sentenced to 17 years. 17 years for an attempted murder charge. You're right. 17 years is a bit low, in my opinion. He's 42 years old, accused of calling a 67-year-old Asian woman a B word, an Asian B word, followed her into a building and severely beat her on Friday. He was detained shortly after. When officers saw him still outside of the building. 17 years. What if that was your mother, brother, cousin? I say it's time to bring back the chair. That's what I think. Let's go ahead and get to the body cam video of the Tennessee cop and the potential George Floyd 2 situation that almost happened in the East Ridge High Gym, Tennessee. Tauris Sledge was arrested after being tossed around and pepper sprayed in a school gym. That is him you see right there. Disturbing video reveals the moment a teenager was manhandled and pepper sprayed by an East Ridge High School law enforcement officer after he refused to leave the school gym. So off the bat, right off the whop, right off rip, you can see that there's this element of, right, man, this is a horrific thing that's happened. This is a horrible thing that's happened. Now, irrespective of the video that we just played for you a few minutes and a few moments ago, I want you to pay attention here. This is a different high school, not the same high school, but the reality of 2022 and kids in America, teenagers in America, is that since there are so many guns and they are so easy to get now, there's just so many of them, kids are going to have guns. And so it will come with some regulations that might seem a bit extringent. But getting back to this mainstream article, look how they set the tone. They set the tone so tonefully. A disturbing video, not just a video, but a disturbing video. Well, why is the video disturbing? Let's keep reading. News article says a disturbing video reveals the moment a teenager was manhandled and pepper sprayed by an East High School law enforcement officer after he refused to leave the school gym. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this video is incredible. It's an hour long. I don't know if we're going to make it through the whole thing. We're probably not going to. Having said that, let's go ahead and get, my bad. Oh, my camera. I think my camera just died. So let me see for a second if my camera just died. Oh, okay. I thank you, Organic Black. Organic Black, best mind in the building. Let me see if my camera died. Okay, well, let's see. The camera is off. I guess it wasn't on the charger. 1 second, y'all. This is a tough one. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just play the video for y'all. And while I reset the camera up, we'll just play the video so you're able to see kind of what's happening. It's definitely interesting enough. I'll say that. So enjoy from the beginning. I'll be back in a few minutes, y'all. And I'm gonna play it from the very beginning.
I tried to walk him outside to get him one-on-one play. So as soon as the basketball's come out, he comes out here and wants to play basketball. So I come up to him, I'm like, Tauris, you said you were sick. He said, don't approach me like that. I said, I'm a teacher. I can approach you how I want to. I didn't do this disrespectfully. I just asked him a question. And then I try to go over here. He goes over here. And I try to walk him outside to get him one-on-one. And he's at the basketball, and he comes to me, and I grab the basketball, and then he sort of bucks on me and comes at me into my face. And he won't talk to me. And he says, you're a racist motherfucker, and I'll kick your fucking ass. Quote. You can ask Katie. I can put up that shit. But I want to have a conversation in front of you with him. Because he got to know if he was wrong and he's talking to me.
I just got switched to this class because the administrators, my counselor, whoever can't hire a teacher for my institute. My institute, I've been taking all 4 years. Mr. Black. I've been taking it for 4 years. It ain't my fault if they can't hire another teacher, keep a teacher in that class. So with that being said, my institute, my guidance counselor put me in here. Not knowing that I told him I wasn't feeling good. Came to him about that. That was already done on about. Yes, done on about. We left alone. Okay, cool. We cool. I'm up there in the bleachers sitting down. Finally, when I come down from off the bleachers, you want to come at me aggressive. What happened to you? You supposed to be in the bleachers. Like, that's not how you talk to me. You could be a good citizen, but be aware. When you talking to me, it's respect.
So what happened after that?
After that, it wasn't nothing else to discuss. I walked off.
All right. I think we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're back. So we're going to go ahead and pause for a second right here. It's always something that happens with this damn equipment. I tell you what, man, it's crazy. I'm like, what in the f is going on? All right. So we're setting the tone here. Okay. We're setting the tone here. I'm going to go ahead and keep spinning this clip. Thank you so much, Organic Black. Best mod in the world. Organic Black says, so they're just standing there ignoring the officer. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Let's let this go ahead and play out for a while.
You know.
Also, I want to make mention of the fact that there is a black gentleman standing right beside him, a black gentleman who's a teacher or gym teacher, I believe in this case, at the school. Maybe he's the principal assistant. Actually, I think the white guy's the gym teacher. He might be in the principal, or he's some kind of man in authoritative position who is black, right? So whatever side of the fence you fall on, just keep that in mind.
You feel me? That's not going to resolve.
And I say that to say, if you feel like he didn't have anybody to watch his back, then that's one thing. But there is a black brother there to potentially have his back against the evil white man, right? If it's that type of situation. I said that to say that.
If I'm not doing that, if I'm minding my own business, don't come to me no type of way. And how you bumped up against me like that?
We're talking
How you bumped up against me like that?
As a teacher, you didn't play our organized game.
I told you I wasn't feeling good. That was the end of
Okay, so he said he's not feeling good. So before this all ended up happening, the kid wasn't feeling good. He was sitting on the bleachers. The gym coach walked up to him and said, "Why are you sitting on the bleachers right now?" Or something along that line. "Why are you sitting on the bleachers right now?" The kid's not feeling good, so he's kind of buckled over. He was maybe just rocking back and forth. He was mumbling a lot. We've been sick. We've all been sick. And you're miserable. I'm sure he probably had some kind of attitude, obviously, right? And that's what he said. "I'm not feeling good." After that, I'm not sure where the coach went or where things kind of escalated or how things escalated so quickly. But I think the coach told him, "Well, you still need to get up and do whatever it is." Now, here's the thing. The gym coach or PE teacher, a lot of the times in schools, is an actual coach. So he might actually coach football, baseball, or something like that. In which case, yeah, our coaches screamed at us like crazy, cussed at us and everything, right? But that is kind of the theme or the brand of coaching, especially in high school. It is like, no, get up, run, go, go, go. It's almost like militaristic. You know what I mean? But if you haven't done organized sports, or if you're not going for it and you see that as disrespect, maybe it could be argued that, oh, well, he's a problem with authority, or authority needs to understand that not everybody is going to respond the same. Yeah, I get a little bit of all of that, but I think what it is in this case is it is a difference in culture once again, right? In some instances and aspects, this kid's not going for it. And I get that too. I respect that too. He's not necessarily seeking out a problem per se, but like we often say, well, I don't often say, but as I've alluded to a few times on this channel, when you do decide to walk in a certain light, or if you do walk in a certain way, then the realities of the nature or the realness of real life around you is going to make itself apparent. You know what I mean? And I'm referring to, manosphere guys, people who have issues either in dating, people who have issues, whatever it might be. A lot of the time, yeah, you can do what you want, right? But is that really the answer? You know what I mean? A lot of the time, what you're seeking isn't really the answer. It might fulfill your individual carnal pleasure at that moment. It might fulfill your individual self-esteem or integral pride, solving issues that you need at that moment. You might feel that your honor is restored, but at the end of the day, you might be in a worse off position, right? In this case, talking to police officers and having to deal with the potential of going to jail. Now, he did go to jail, and the way that he went to jail is pretty crazy, right? But having said that, the biggest thing that I see before we get back to this video is a difference in culture. And this is what a lot of, I'll be honest with you, white people say when they speak about having some of the issues with Black people. They say it's not necessarily that we're racist per se, but it's a culture type of deal. And I'll be honest with you too, right? When you are in the streets and you are around these types of guys and you are around hood dudes and gangsters, if you will, right? Gang members. A lot of those guys have short fuses. They're not going for anything. And this is just the theme of the streets, the theme of the Black community in those types of environments and areas. It's like we build and breed heartless savages. And my thing is, I feel like every man needs to have a savage element in him, right? Every guy needs to have a savage element for sure, but it's like you have to have a heart with that savagery, and you have to know when it's righteous to actually use that savagery, when it's time to actually use that savagery, right? But there's none of that control in the Black community. It's like you got savages just everywhere and nobody really gives a dang type of deal. And so it ends up raising a community of people that are just kind of, and in some instances just a little bit more like, hey bro, it just is what it is. And that's the cultural difference, right? That's why we joke about walking into Bob's community and, hey Jim, how's it going today, and whatever it might be, right? That's a cultural difference there. Let's go ahead and get back to this video and see how this continues to play out. This is an hour long, so this is crazy.
I'm minding my own business. I walked out.
Can I have a word? Okay, our organized game, you didn't play. I asked you why you didn't play. You told me you didn't feel well. I didn't buck on your name. I said, okay, that's fine. Next thing you know, the basketballs come out, and now you're on the floor. So I came up to you and I was like, I thought you were sick when we were playing kickball. Now you're not sick anymore. And that's when you.
Okay, so he started playing basketball on the floor. So the coach thought he was sick. He's not sick anymore. He's playing basketball.
Went from here to like that. And you shut it down and I couldn't talk to you. And that's where we are. I asked you a question. I said, I thought you were sick when we were playing kickball. And then you went, and you changed twofold. Like I was coming at you. And then you said, don't come at me like that. I was like, I'm asking you a question. I'm not coming at you. If I came at you, you know it, but I'm not going to do that.
Now, what you have here is kind of a classic, almost like a man, a man-on-man conversation type of deal. Now, this, in real life, when you talk to another guy and it's like, hey, bro, why are you checking me? Depending on how that guy's feeling, he might be like, what's up? Right? Well, now this kid is starting to feel a little bit of that, what's up, kid? From this coach who's a white guy who's bigger than him, that could quite honestly, obviously he's a kid, so he's going to get beat up in a fight against a grown man, right? But he's like, okay, well, now you're pressing me. What do you mean, what's up? I'm like, why are you talking to me this way? Why are you doing this? So he feels disrespected. It went off the rails from there. That's where we're at right now.
I'm 50 years old. I'm too old for that stuff, okay?
You see what I mean? He just mentioned his age. So there's a separation, and now he's sunning him right now. And that's I mean, you can't get sunned in the streets. That's a disrespect, right? You can't get disrespected. You know what I mean? The kid's probably from the streets.
I've been doing this for 26 freaking years. All right, got a little bit of experience. So if you think I'm coming at you, you're totally wrong, 100%. But as a teacher and as a person of respect, that I do respect these kids, you ask any kids in here, and you call me racist, I'm the most least racist person in the school. You ask anybody around here.
The most least racist? Oh, Jesus. He almost ruined the whole video.
Black, white, or indifferent. Kids, young kids, adults. I guarantee you, I treat this man with the same respect they treat me. Don't call me racist. As a teacher, you're my student. I asked you a question, and you could not answer it. You got really upset. That's where we're at.
That's exactly what I did from the moment I came in this class. You had some only when I asked if you could open up the door.
What
Your question was regarding to why this, why that, and I gave you a simple question in return, but you wanted to go further with the
Now the only question I asked you was why could you not play our game? I'm not gonna talk to you.
I let you talk. I let you say what you had to say, what you said over there. Supposedly, that's not what you said. You came to me aggressively, and I said I'm talking in a calm voice. You still had your voice raised. While I'm telling you, trying to explain to you why I came down from the bleachers. But you still had your voice up. See, this is why my voice gonna stay this strong, because I'm gonna show you how you was doing me right there. I'm gonna keep my tone.
Right. This is where it begins. That's where the latchkey, if you will, moment happens right there. So I'm gonna stay right here at that moment. You understand if you're gonna stay on that hill, there could be potential issues. Now the police are right there. The police aren't saying too much. They're just letting them talk. And in all fairness, young boy's letting them talk, right? He let him speak. He didn't interrupt him. He's speaking somewhat calmly. He's not backing down, though, necessarily, and he's not acknowledging, if you will, the authority. And this is another issue that comes into play here, because when you fail to acknowledge the authority, especially when police get involved, then you're going to have an issue, irrespective of whether you're right or wrong. It doesn't matter at that point. Accepting the reality of the reality, right? Let's get back to this for a second.
Like this,
I asked you a question. I'm like, why are you not sick now? When you were sick
don't
earlier?
Matter.
I
gave you your answer.
Okay, now this is it. Now this does matter. This does matter a little bit. Is the coach harping and picking on for something that he shouldn't be picking on him on? If he's sick, you should just leave him alone, coach. Well, to some extent, teens have to have boundaries. If he said he's sick, that he can't get up. He shouldn't be able to. He should just go ahead and relax and walk around. But you can't give students that you're supposed to be able to watch and that you're supposed to have. You have to understand, y'all. If something happens to kids while they're at school, if they get caught doing something, yada yada yada, then the principal board is going to ask who was the teacher that was responsible for watching these kids? How did it happen? And then the teacher or the principal is going to end up with the issue, right? So it needs to be very strictly and sternly appropriated for how you manage children or teens at school. And so there is an element of uneasiness that all teachers kind of share, and that's that. Let me just make sure that I get through this day. Everybody gets on the bus, everybody gets off the bus, and there's no issues. and they're aggro because of it. This is why a lot of teachers are kind of stressed. They're not only trying to make sure that they teach and that they make sure that your kids are learning while they take care of them simultaneously, but also make sure that your kids get back home to you, because as we all know, kids and teenagers in particular, high schoolers, aren't necessarily the best at class attendance, right? So he's trying to figure out, he's trying to assert dominance and control and understand, and telling this kid, listen, kid, I run this thing, I run the show, you're just a kid. Listen, I don't think there was any racial component there. I think he's a coach and he's aggro. Right.
And you still kept coming at me aggressively.
But he's a human as well, and he's gonna start getting upset.
And I let it go, and I walked off, minding my own business as I was going. From when I walked up there on the bleachers and sat down. The reason why you asked me, why was I on the bleachers to begin with, right? Minding my own business once again. So why are you coming at me aggressively?
Okay,
that's my question.
I'm a PE teacher.
Why?
Why? Okay, you asked me a question, I'm going to answer. I'm a PE teacher. Our two classes are playing a kickball game against each other. Coach Murley versus Coach Mauser. I look up and you're in the bleachers.
That don't got nothing to do with me feeling sick.
I didn't know you were sick at that time. That's why I asked you the question. I'm like, why are you in the bleachers?
How many times I got to tell you I was sick?
Okay.
But I think the thing is you were sick, but then when he allowed you guys to have free time, and then you decided you weren't sick and wanted to play.
Not that I decided, but at the time when I was up feeling myself, I'm going to come down and I'm going to interact. Is that a problem?
Yeah, but if he designed a lesson and he didn't participate in his lesson.
A lesson is not to go out there and play with students just because
this is a physical education class. That is what the lesson
it is. I get that.
So
and I came down
in the lesson.
I came down on my time when I was feeling myself and I went down there. So how is that a problem?
The problem is our kickball game we were playing against Coach Mauser.
That's not the point. It's not about the kickball game. It's about me not feeling myself. How many times I gotta say that?
I didn't say a word to you about not playing. Did I say anything? I was like, that's fine.
You came to me after I came down on the bleachers. That's my whole point. You keep talking about the.
You understand why I asked the question? We're doing a kickball game.
Talking about the game. That's
you don't play.
Point.
When we had free time in basketball, that's when you did. And I asked you a question. So why aren't you feeling better now when you wasn't earlier? It was 10 minutes ago.
And I think that's a legitimate question.
It doesn't matter if I'm up there on the bleachers and I'm telling you, I was feeling myself. It's the reason why I came down from off the bleachers. It don't matter about no basketball. It don't matter about no kickball. It don't got nothing to do with none of that. I said I was feeling sick. If I'm feeling sick, I'm gonna be up there on the bleachers. What is you not understanding that? When I'm feeling myself, I'm gonna come down. What is you not understanding that?
Lower your voice. Lower your voice.
Oh, I'm just excusing myself. Anything else you want to come from? If you want to talk to anybody, I got a lawyer. Anything, but you're not gonna come to me no type of way and disrespect me. Hold on. Bro, get your hands off me.
All right. So he was okay. Now we're gonna have a problem. Now we're gonna have a problem. And I understand being upset, because when I'm upset, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to hear anybody. I get it. But now we have an issue, right? Now we have an issue. This is kind of where being a youth comes into play here. And hey, we'll see how things go.
Hold on.
Get your hands off me.
I said, hold on.
You got 5 seconds to get your hands off.
What the fuck are you?
Okay.
You got 5 seconds.
I think the officer's cussing at him now. Okay, so now things have gotten completely out of control, right? Now he's threatening a police officer. So the line from righteous anger to now you're in some it was very thin right there, and this kid just jumped over it. He just Olympic vaulted over that line. It's like, the line where? F the line. I am the line. Me, right? At this point, he's lost all protection legally, right? At this point, he's lost any type of protection physically, because he's now threatened a law or a peace officer, which is very illegal. Now, we'll see how things are going, but it's not going to go too much better after this. Everything that he did up until this point was pretty much good, in my opinion, and I thought that he had a solid case. I thought he had a solid case and that he had some good points. But this is where the cultural issue comes into play here, right? And this is, I think, the hard point. This is where a lot of Black people have an issue really accepting the reality of the Black community and mainstream Black culture, which spreads, is that they see the good, right? they see that, okay, you know what, he was right in this act, man. He was, you know what, they shouldn't have been bothered him. They see that they do that, but then they don't acknowledge the bad either, right? So it's like, I see the good, definitely. I see where maybe they shouldn't have been bothering, but we have to acknowledge the severely bad as well. The problem is the severely bad aspect tends to occur a lot more in these types of arrests where somebody gets shot, or a young black dude gets shot, or a young black brother gets popped over the head, or it's some kind of injustice, George Floyd style. The problem is it's usually those bad responses that come out first before the story even gets told in this case. Now, the reason that this video is so popular right now is because it's an hour-long footage of the story being told in real time. And so you're able to see a little bit of the good, which captivates our hearts. And it says, look, he was a kid. He was sick. He just came down to shoot a little bit after the coaches asked him, hey, why are you not sitting here? He decided to come down and interact. The story sounds good. The story is good up until that point, up until he decided that he didn't want to play ball anymore with anybody. And then we have an issue, right?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
You got 5 seconds. You got what you gonna do? Doing nothing. You gonna get your ass off of me and get out my presence like you got some sense. Be a good citizen like you is.
How about you be a good citizen, not raise your voice?
With that badge on your hood.
And causing a big scene inside the gym.
No, I ain't
because
causing
you're really pushing for disorderly conduct.
I ain't pushing nothing. If I'm pushing some, all right. Like I said, stay right. Okay.
All right. Now, let me just tell you, all right, Jesus Christ, black men, don't ever walk away from the police when they're talking to you. People in general, anybody, humans, don't walk away from the police when the police are talking to you. That is a quick way to get yourself shot or tasered. That's a quick way to get yourself really hurt, right? Some people would consider that even suicide by cop. I shouldn't have said the word fuck, right? Don't do that. That's a bad idea. This kid just turned his back to the police and said, all right, wait a second, as if he's going to retrieve something. You see how the situation starts spinning out of control?
No.
Now the cop can't leave him. The cop can't let you go now at this point. They need to figure out where you're walking to, what you're walking to, and why you're walking to it.
Come on, man, get your stuff. Let's go.
I ain't going over.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
Why is you following me?
Because even Mr. Perry wants you to get you stuff because he wants you to meet him over there. So let's go.
I don't care about what Mr. Perry said. I'm in this class. I just got in this class.
Okay,
I don't give a fuck what you say to me, dog.
Let's go.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Come on, man. You finna take a ride to jail, dude. I ain't fucking with you.
Who the fuck is you talking about ride to jail? I ain't do shit to begin with.
It's called disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct. You ain't
and let's go.
No.
Get up off the bleachers. That's fine. You can record all you want. I've been recording the whole time.
That's cool.
Get up off the bleachers.
Keep recording. I hope you got everything I said in there too.
So let's go. Come with me.
Body cam footage is too high. My bad, yo.
Stand up and come with me. Stand up and come with me.
All right. So he's not listening to the police officer. Stand up and come with me. Stand up and come with me, right? At that point, y'all, even if you are right, if you don't comply with the police officer, if you don't just go ahead and let them put the cuffs on you, it's going to be worse. So in this situation, if a police officer thinks that you did something, right? Let's just say a robbery happened across the street. And they say, we know it's you. The witnesses said it was you. We saw somebody just like you with dreadlocks running out. And so you're detained right now. You need to go ahead and put on these cuffs. This is your best option. All right. This is the best thing to do. You can argue your point as much as you like. You can go ahead and call in a peaceful manner. Officer, I promise you, I'm not the one that did this. I can give you, I can call, I can do whatever you need. I don't have a criminal, I don't whatever. Don't get me wrong. I believe in the Second Amendment and protecting my people, my family. Yes, I dropped a rap track named YouTube Niggas. Make sure. Yes, I have a body wash that I think I need to actually, because a Wix sent me an email saying I need to pay for the domain. Gossip.com, so it might be down. Anyways, yes, officer. Okay. Yes, but it wasn't me. Okay, we're past that now. If they still decide that after my best arguments that it was me that robbed that store, I have to go to jail. That's just the way it is. At which point you hire a lawyer, you talk to your friends, your family, you call up people that you haven't spoke to in a few years. You say, hey, listen, I need some money so I can get to a lawyer, so I can get free. I need you to bail me out. And then you try and get your word out through your lawyer's mouth if it's something that actually happens bad. Now, I know in a perfect world, right, that's supposed to happen. I know that, yes, people have been locked up unjustly and they're still in jail right now and all this other different types of stuff. Those instances don't happen as much as you'd like to think that they do. But in this case, this is how those instances kind of happen sometimes, right? Where it wasn't necessarily a problem until it was a problem, and now you have a problem. Let's go ahead and go back to this for a little bit.
Telling you to stand up and come with me for causing a disorder inside the gym in front of everybody else. You don't need to be in here. Mr. Perry's telling you to come out. I'm telling you to come on, so you need to get up and come on. I'm giving you a lawful order to get up and come on now.
All right, a lawful order.
All right, man. Take the backpack off. We finna go to the gym. Don't resist me, dude. What is it?
All right. So the mainstream media loses their minds at this point. Mainstream media loses their minds at this point. He's done grabbed the kid by the neck. Right?
Don't resist me.
Don't resist.
Don't do it.
I got you. I can't leave it out of you. Okay?
This is insane body camera footage. Jeez. Wrestling him down. All right, so I'm gonna see how long it takes for him to get this. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward a little bit. It looks like the officer went to go pick up the camera. Let's check that out.
Take the bag off. Take the bag off.
This is amazing recording. They picked up the camera and then put it back on the officer. Can we get a round of applause for the officer and for the school, either principal, the black gentleman who picked up the officer's camera? Round of applause. G. France in the building. U.S. Freedmen Nationalist Party. The Bible says an eye for an eye. My goodness, it does. Organic Black Best Minds, seeking him daily. So it's good to have you all in the building. Good to see you, G. France. It's very, 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 very interesting video here. Very good quality. I love it.
Ass back on like the camera you should have been. Why is you still holding me, man?
All right, so he won't take the bag off. Major issue of concern for law enforcement. Don't know what's inside of that bag. It could be a damn nuclear bomb for all we know. We don't know what's inside of that bag, homie. You need to take the bag off. You already done walked and threatened me as a police officer. Even if I was a police officer, a black police officer, I'd be like, little dude, you need to go ahead and take the bag off. Because the videos that I've seen, you know what I mean? The videos that I've seen little niggas like you. I've seen little niggas like you walking around with the things, right? I know what I've seen with my own two eyes. I know. So I'm going to have to go ahead and check that bag. What you got in that bag? What you got in that bag?
Because you're not listening to a lawful order that I'm giving you. Take the bag off.
You still holding me. Why is y'all still on me? This friends, why my parents ain't been called? Put my dad on the phone. Put my dad on the phone.
Now his dad's gonna come on later in the video. That's even crazier.
Take the bag off.
Why are you trying to get me to retain my stuff off of me? This is my property. This is me.
I'm not trying to steal it. I'm trying to get it off.
I don't care. You just
detain you in
you
handcuffs.
just threw me around.
Because you didn't listen. I told you to get up.
I didn't have no right to be treated the way you treated me. Why are you still holding me?
Now, how does this happen? You don't have no right to treat me the way you treat me. Well, so right now, what we have going on is this. We have an entire media side that backs a certain political party that tells kids that this country hates them. There's people in the country that want to kill them, that that all white people are evil, that all cops and policemen are evil. We have an entire conglomerate that's meant to entrudge you with this narrative, especially as black people, especially as black boys, that you are being hunted, right? That you are a perpetual victim, and that your rights are always being trampled and impeded on. So you have generations upon generations, now 2 or 3 generations of, well, let's say 2 generations of this message that, oh, America's just, it's still that same place that brought us over as slaves in 1400, 1300, whenever the hell. It's still that same place. So it's no surprise that you have kids that grow up and they don't like the police when they've been told their whole lives that the police are out to kill them. It's no surprise that you have people that have no sense of community when their whole lives they've been taught that their jobs is to wreak havoc and destroy and to popularize and to monetize doing that in the community, right? They've been taught to think the way that they think, and so going forward, they're going to think the way that they've been taught to think. It's a really simple 1 + 1 = 2 situation. Now, that addresses an entirely different concern, right? Because the mainstream media conglomerates know exactly how this is going to affect a lot of people when they write a story that we showed you earlier, like this, right? That story, and let me exit out of this so I can get the title of it, right? The story that said that this was a brutal or a disturbing video, right? A disturbing video. Now, yeah, it was a disturbing video, sure. The moment a teenager was manhandled. Well, guess what? In this case, in this instance, the teenager definitely needed to be manhandled because he needs to understand and learn what authority is. I can tell you this much: if it's not a police officer that's going to manhandle him, most likely it's going to be somebody else in the future that ends up doing right or handling a dude like that, because with those types of with those types of like mentalities and tactics, you're going to end up running into somebody else who feels also the same way of not backing down too, right? And then you have yourself into another situation, which is what happened to the police. The police can't back down once they designate you a person of interest. They can't go away even if they wanted to. If they've been called to the scene and they've now deemed that you are somebody that's causing chaos or disrupting the peace, DTP, as Ludacris's famous rap group was named, right? These things were taught to us, right? We were taught to disrupt the peace, DTP, right? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I like Ratchet too. I definitely do. But still, at this point, when it becomes real life for you and you have real life consequences, this kid didn't understand the real life consequences. He didn't understand that, cops aren't going to let me go. No, they can't let you go right now. Now it's too late for you. Now he wants to call his father, get my father on the line and things of this nature. Now he wants to bring in the form of authority that he has because he didn't want to recognize the authority of the police officers. But once again, the entire point of Black Lives Matter was to deauthorize the authority of the police, right? Which is to defund the authority of the police. Everything about a Democratic or a large portion of the Democratic Party is to destroy the image of the police inside the Black community. You know what I mean? This is why Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not Black. Right? This is crazy. So we as Black people, a lot of us are, it's a very polarizing confusion that happens in a lot of the community, even with my own family who vote one side or the other. I tell and I break things down like, why don't you just go ahead and take a step back and actually look at what's going on and look at what you want. Once again, and I'll keep driving this point home because it's such a fascinating point. We as Black Americans are the only groups of people that don't have anywhere else to go. And a lot of Black people are frustrated because of that. We're here, and a lot of the people that are here are trash, right? But the problem is, even if we were to go move to Africa, and I think I might have said this last week, I had said this in a conversation with my girl. Even if we were to go move to Africa right now, we would still end up getting scammed. You know what I'm saying? You go try and start your business in Africa right now. You go try and move your Black American business to Ghana and see how long you make it. Look up how many Black people are Black Americans are leaving Africa right now. Look at the videos. I played one of them in the past. It's because even our own people, if they think they know that you're American, are going to try and get a little bit more out of you than they would your own local country people. Is that racism per se? Is treating you different based off of your nationality? Well, what is nationality? They're Black just like us. So what's the big issue here? Once again, this boils down to a culture problem. But the bigger issue is a lot of us don't quite understand what that even means. What is a culture problem? What does that even mean? What is our culture as Black Americans? We don't have any culture. Yeah, I'll say this. I've been watching Love and Hip Hop, and that show is amazing. Let me just say that. All right. So take this live stream with a grain of salt. I do love Love and Hip Hop. But we've been letting people tell us, okay, all cops are bad. Now even though we know that a lot of our kids are pretty unruly, right? That there's an influence on our kids to be really unruly, but there's no authority for them either. It's a really interesting duality that the community kind of operates in. Let's continue to go here. The police aren't going anywhere.
Ben told you to give me a second.
You keep back.
Do you not understand that when I say give me a second, that means remove yourself away from me. Remove yourself away from me.
Every time I give you a second, you don't take the bag
away
off.
from me.
I will let you go if you'll take this bag off.
Remove yourself away from me.
I will let you go if you take this bag off.
Will you remove yourself away from me?
I just told you what I would do. Take the bag off. Take it off. Take the bag off.
Come on, take the bag off, man. Take the bag off.
Take the bag off, dude. Take it off. You're going to jail for disorderly conduct and resisting at this point. Take the bag off.
All right. When the officer says you're going to jail, it's too late.
What's up, sweetheart? You good?
No, I'm not, Jed. I literally just got thrown around by the police like I haven't done nothing. They simply called.
All right. Now this is where the issue happens. I haven't done none. If you don't, this is horrible. But there's a meme called "Didn't Do Nothing," right? This is really bad here. So if you don't like racist jokes, then definitely go ahead and miss this. We're gonna take this to Urban Dictionary. A didn't do nothing, as described by Urban Dictionary, is it translates to didn't do nothing or didn't do anything. It's typically used by Black people when caught committing crimes to convey that they did not, in fact, commit said crimes based on their word alone. Police officer, this is using an example here. Quote, "Why did you beat up that woman?" Black man says, "I didn't do nothing." I'm sorry, quote, "I didn't do nothing, man. That motherfucker looked at me wrong and shit." Police officer says, "So you did do it?" The Black man says, quote, "Nah, man, I didn't do nothing. You real racist and shit." Okay, so racist is another Urban Dictionary word. Let's look at this. Okay. Racist is spelled Rayciss. This is a mess. Urban Dictionary classifies racist as ebonics for the word racist. You almost think it's like in another reality, it could be like an alternate version or a plurality of the word racist. Racists. The genius of us as Black people. Employer, the example used in a sentence just like a spelling bee. Employer says, quote, "Sorry you didn't get the job. There were 20 more qualified applicants. Good luck." Deshaun says in the example here, quote, "Use bees all racist and shit." All right. No, that was given to us in 2008. All right. When the internet was a bit of a different place. Or was it? Or was it, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you see, the thing about, the thing about this, the thing about the stereotypes is when they do come to fruition in certain cases, it kind of is like, geez. this kid did use, and I do think he used the racist thing a second ago. In the very beginning, I think maybe it was racist, maybe it wasn't, but the media is using this as a racist thing, right? They grabbed his hair, so that if a police officer grabs the dreadlocks, it's automatically a race thing at that point. Let's continue on here. And I'm not saying that seriously. I say that in a sarcastic way, but obviously that's what the media says. Oh, he grabbed his hair. Jesus Christ, he's racist.
Which is the teacher that I man for physical education. Like, he called the administrators down, knowing I didn't have no wrong. I was in no wrong. I simply came to him, and when he asked me a question, which why am I at the bleachers, and I told him I wasn't feeling good. I exited the bleachers when I started feeling myself, and he wanted to come in here aggressive. So he got a police officer down here pulling on my lock, slamming me into the bleachers I'm at the school, and they will not let me go.
All right, take the bag off.
All right, so Dad's coming up to the school now. Okay, Dad is on the way. Dad didn't sound like he was playing either.
Nothing.
Take the bag off.
Nothing is going to happen.
You are fixed.
Get up here.
You are fixed to get put in handcuffs one way or another. Take the bag off. Take it off. Take the bag off.
No right to be slung.
Take the bag off.
All right. It looks like they paused right here because he got pepper sprayed. All right. So we'll continue. So he's pepper sprayed now.
Take the bag off. You're refusing a lawful order for me to be able to put you in handcuffs. Take the bag off.
That pepper spray is no joke, yo.
Take the bag off.
All right, let me just tell you a quick story on pepper spray. Organic Black and a few of the other OGs have heard this story before. I was at a club in high school, and some guys got into a fight across the street, and the cops pepper sprayed the guys across the street. It was like 20 or 30 feet away. And so we were just standing. We didn't know they pepper sprayed. And then all of a sudden, everybody just started coughing and crying. And I was like, what is that? And somebody said, they just pepper sprayed. They just pepper sprayed. Yo, it is crazy. And it was 20 feet away. So getting pepper sprayed in the face, whew, Jesus.
Take it off.
That's brutal, man. I'm not going to lie.
Take the bag off.
He's hurting right now.
Take it off. Take the bag off.
So now look, and this is why I bring up my thing earlier. Okay, so you won. You weren't doing anything wrong. You weren't doing anything wrong, but now you're pepper sprayed in the face. You know what I mean? Are you still willing to stand on that hill? Right? It's like, okay, how much more do you want to take to prove that you're not doing anything wrong at this point? I would have taken the bag off. I'd have been like, all right, here you go, officer. Shit, take the bag, bro.
I'm going to take the bag off.
Now listen, he's still not taking the bag off.
Once the backpack is off.
Hey, props to him for being a hard-headed warrior.
Take it off.
He's a warrior. I'll give him that. He just fighting for the wrong side.
If you would have just listened, this wouldn't have happened. That's all. That's all you had to do was listen. You're still going to resist. You want it some more, dude? Because that's fine. I got a whole can.
Yeah.
Take the bag off, man. That's all you have to do is take the bag off.
Now, the officers cannot not take the bag off at this point. They have to follow through and take the bag. You might be like, well, why couldn't they just rip the bag open? Why couldn't they just unzip the bag and see if there's anything inside? No. It's because they have to have 100% complete compliance with their word of law. You have to comply 100%. It's black or it's white. There is no in between. Officers aren't going to negotiate with you. You've all been pulled over before. They might give you the speeding ticket. They might give you a pass, but if it's something more serious, there's no negotiating, homie. You're not about to buy out a police officer unless you have $1 million cash potentially right there. Then maybe, right? Then maybe, and even then, some of them won't do that. They'll send you to jail and then take that $1 million. 300,000 of it might pop up at the department. You know what I mean? So once something is said and once something is stone, and if you have warrants, for instance. When they type in your name, you get pulled over. They say, oh, you have a couple warrants for, whatever it might be, yada, yada, yada. Then they also, after that, say, can you tell me about it? if you say, I don't know anything about it, and they say, okay, we're just going to call and verify, right? Or we're going to, just whatever. It's a certain word they say. Once they check up or call the department and say, hey, can you verify that he has these warrants? If they call back and say, yes, he has those warrants, they have to take you to jail. If they verify in the system that you are the person that has those warrants, they have to take you. It don't matter if the Queen of England came back to life and said, no, he can't go to jail. They have to take you at that point because their system is going to ping and say, oh, this guy's in police control. Yes, let's go ahead and start on the back end processing him into this thing now, right? Because they verified your warrant status. So that's kind of the same thing that happens here. Now they have to take off his bag, right? Because he's going to be going to jail, and that's just what it is. That's just how their system goes. We say the words, you have to do. No questions asked. And yes, it is a totalitarian regime. You can decide to like it. You can decide not to like it. But when they show up, it is a totalitarian regime. You have no choice.
I told you to take the bag off. That's fine, dude.
All right. Well, I know he's in pain. I ain't going to lie. That pepper spray serious.
Take the bag off. Take it off.
I can't breathe.
Oh my goodness!
Take the bag off. We'll get.
Now, honestly, right here, he's pepper sprayed, so he might be legitimate. But the George Floyd "I can't breathe" thing almost took me out for a second when I was watching it. I thought he was saying it to joke around, like the "I can't breathe." I was like, "Yo, this nigga's crazy." But he might not be able to. But daggone, no, I was like, Jesus, not the "I can't breathe," man. Dang, gum.
Get you decontaminated. That's all it is.
I can't breathe.
Look at, he's still holding the bag. Look at how tough he's holding on to the bag.
I can't breathe.
It's amazing watching people fight with cops claiming they can't breathe. It takes oxygen to do this, though. So the cop gets the baton. He's trying to wheel it open. He can't breathe, but he's breathing, though. He's breathing just fine. He's breathing good enough to clench that bag harder than a pit bull. Why do niggas like pit bulls so much, man? What's wrong with you niggas, bro? Man, let me show. I gotta take a quick detour real quick, bro. Man. I'm just Googling this, okay? I'm just gonna Google pit bull show. I'm seeing nothing but white people in pit bulls. This is pretty bad right now. This is not proving my point. All right, we're gonna come back to the niggas in the pit bull. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Give me a nurse up here.
It's closing my windpipe.
Give me a nurse up here.
He said exposing my windpipe. Yo, he's trolling. All right, he's trolling. I made it up. He's trolling. He definitely is trolling right now. My nigga said exposing my windpipe. Come on, bro.
Give me your hand, man.
Seeking him daily said.
Let's breathe. Closing.
Give me a nurse up here.
It's closing my.
Okay, he said the spray is closing his windpipe. Yo, seeking him daily is hilarious. Seeking him daily said, she said, it's over for you, Pookie. Miss Hurricane said they were way too patient with him. Yeah, I think they were, man. They were trying to give this bro a chance.
Give me a nurse up here.
All right, so the nurse was called. The officer called the nurse, all right? As soon as he said, man, the second he said, I can't breathe, something's in my windpipe, he said, get the nurse.
Roll over, man. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over and sit up. Roll over and sit up.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Roll over and sit up, dude.
Man, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Being a police officer looks like it'd be so much fun, man. I would love to be a police officer. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It would be a blast, dude. What's wrong with y'all? Like, bro, come on, just talk to me for a second, bro. I'd put my hand on the shoulder, like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Why are you so upset? with me right now. You understand why I have to take your backpack off? Do you understand that? That you could have a gun in there, maybe? I don't know what you have in your backpack, man. So you have to take it off. It's your possession. I'm not going to steal your backpack. I don't want your backpack, but I don't want to get shot either. I don't know. I feel like I should do it because it's like, dude,
Daddy, just crazy.
Roll over.
I'd get
Roll
too
over
upset.
and sit up, dude.
I'd get too upset. I can't do all this. I'd be like, all right, bro, I'm just going to pop you, bro. You want to get shot? You want to get shot, bro? I'm just going to shoot you. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that, yo. It's horrible.
They got in my mouth. I can't breathe. I need help.
Roll over and sit up. Roll over and sit up. Roll over and sit up. Dude, I'm trying to help you. Roll over and sit up.
This is painful to watch.
Roll over and sit up. Roll.
Let me sit up.
That's what I'm trying to get you to do.
So now that dad's calling on the line. The dad's probably like, what in the hell's going on?
Let go of the
trying to
bag,
kill
dude.
my son. Dad's probably like, they're trying to kill my son. School nurse is here.
You got a nurse here to help you with the spray.
Okay, so can we get you into the bathroom and get you to start flushing your eyes out? Because that's the only thing that's going to help that spray, okay?
Yeah. Yes.
I can't breathe.
He is sitting up.
I'm trying to catch him on my breath.
Oh boy.
Come on, man.
I'm good. I'm just trying.
Give me your
I'm
hand.
good. Trying to.
Let go of the backpack.
Understandable, right? If you're a parent and your kid called you, now granted, if it's, Montravius, I'd probably understand, like, okay, Trey, what'd you do? But you can hear the anger in this dude's voice. He thinks his son's pretty much getting executed, right? Because the media says that the police are trying to kill us all for no reason, right?
I'm trying to.
Like, go to the back
I'm
door,
trying
okay?
to-
So he can help you.
I'm trying to catch him on my breath.
I got you. The more you're struggling against him, the harder it is for you to catch.
Just let go of the bag.
He's still holding the bag, yo.
That's what we all want.
Just like, go to the back
He's
door.
wrestling with me and I told him I
Yo,
can't breathe.
It's a strong
let go
kid,
of the
man.
bag.
Officer
This
can't
is
get
my
this bag
love.
off of this
I don't
kid.
want-
It's a strong kid. He cannot get this bag off of this kid.
We're not taking your stuff.
It ain't about my stuff. It's not about you taking it. That's not the point. You keep wrestling with me. And I
Because you're not listening. You're resisting me. So give me the stuff.
I'm
Give me
not
your
resisting
hand.
if I'm minding my own business. And I kept telling you to let go of me. You stop fighting me.
Dude, chill out.
Now, this is where, once again, a lot of people, especially black people, are going to a lot of us will kind of get reeled back in. I saw a video. This is a horrible video, man. I made a video a long time ago called "Women Shouldn't Be Police Officers," and it went viral on my channel. I took it down. I wish I didn't take it down. Freaking this guy named Louder Crowder just made a video, and it had like a ton of views. I was like, man, if I still had my video up, I would have gotten so many views, especially since we're talking about politics. But I can't find the damn videos. One of the videos I made in my car, actually, but I had edits to a whole bunch of crazy scenes with, one scene in particular, a woman got beaten very badly. Very badly. She had to have she had to have metal plates, implanted in her face, and it was a very bad video. I can't believe YouTube actually left it up. That actually may be why I deleted it, because of that video. That part of the video, actually. So what ended up happening is there's another part of the video where a different video I made is a different officer. This is actually a male officer. He was talking to a guy, and it was like a 12-minute conversation of these dudes talking. And the officer was like, hey, will you go ahead and hop out? And the dude was like, I really don't want to get out. I'm tired. I'm this and that. It was like 12 minutes long. The dude mid conversation hopped out while the officer was still trying to convince him to hop out. Dude hopped out with an AK and started shooting, man. Just 12 minutes into it. Just, well, I'm going to have you hop out now. You know, I said, just boom, 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 boom. I was just like, oh my God. No, there was, you know, he gave him too much time. The officer was far too passive. And unfortunately, he got lit up with an AK-47. Horrible. So it happened just like that. I've seen another video where an officer was, you know, chasing or looking at this black guy with a camouflage jacket on. And the guy was kind of turned like this a little bit. And the guy was like, put your hands up, you know, put your hands up, yada, yada, yada. And the guy just looked at him for a second and just kept walking, put his head down, just kept walking, didn't even say anything to him. And the officer said again, got his taser out, put your hands up, put your hands up. The guy just looked at him for a second again, just kind of walking. And the next thing you know, all you see is a hand with the gun come up. But because of the way that he was angled against the camera, I can't really like show it to you. Because of the way that he was angled against the camera, you couldn't see any part of this body or size of his part of his body moving. You couldn't tell that he was moving his arm because it was blocked out by the big, thick jacket he was wearing. So the only thing you saw past that shoulder of the puffy jacket was his arm raising with the gun. And so the officer got shot once again. So these things happen so quickly. But when we see this 17-year-old kid on the ground, immediately our minds go to, oh my God, like he's already on the ground. What more could this kid possibly do? What more could possibly happen? Well, there's a lot that could happen. This is why officers are so hands-on and they are so physical a lot of the times, because it absolutely happens. You better believe it. It's not a safe job to be a police officer. And yes, people do shoot police officers, especially people who don't have much impulse control and who hate police officers and who have nothing else to lose, right?
Then just give me your hand.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm literally not even defending myself. I didn't put my hands on you. I'm not doing anything. I literally stayed content. I stayed calm. I kept my mouth closed at some point. It is not no right for you to slam me.
Once again, we hear and we see, and it affects us when we see this kid on the ground saying, I didn't do anything. It was this, it wasn't that. In a police officer's mind, the more you're fighting this thing, the more suspicious they get. If a police officer pulls you over and they're like, you have anything in the car? And you're like, no, I don't have anything in the car. I just got this car in 1997. Man, I swear, like this, my grandma gave me this car. And when she gave me the car, I got an oil change, this and that. Automatically, they're like, oh, he's got something in the car. You're trying to prove yourself way too much. You're not just, sir, do you have your license and registration? No, I don't have my license and registration, but I really wasn't doing anything wrong, was I? I mean, I was just driving down the thing. Well, sir, you have to have a license. I mean, that's just the way it is. Well, I mean, I'm a sovereign citizen. So, I mean, if I'm not speeding, then what difference is a license going to be if I'm driving okay? I haven't gotten into a car crash before. I'm not speeding right now. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not robbing a bank. Well, sir, you still have to have a license because that's just simply the law. Regardless of whether you like it or not, regardless of whether I like it or not, the fuck. Yeah, I paid thousands of dollars in warrants for tickets to get my license back, y'all. Thousands. Crazy, like straight up thousands, like 2,000. Regardless of how much I don't like licenses, if I'm going to be on the road, I have to have a license. Regardless of how much you don't like the optics of this situation, the police officers have very little, and really they handled this quite well, in my opinion. They have very little recourse for what could happen if the worst does happen. So we're talking about schools, we're talking about school shootings, people with guns at school, right? So far, the stereotypical checkoffs, right? Young black dreadlocks, doesn't like police. It has a shirt that says, he's wearing a shirt that says it's lit. So, you know, he probably smokes. And I'm just saying the optics of it once again, right? The optics of it once again. Here's the shirt that says it's lit with some fire on it. For a police officer, it's a story that adds up to, okay, there's something going on, right?
You wrestling with me you're not throwing my thing. Please.
Just let go of the bag.
This is my
So we
stuff. I don't want to.
We're not taking your stuff.
It ain't about my stuff. It's not about you taking it. That's not the point. You keep wrestling with me. I wasn't even acknowledging you at that point. You sprayed me in the face.
Well, I kept telling you to give me your hands, give me the bag, and everything else. You
I had a right to call my people because I feel threatened.
Come on, let's stand up and let's go.
You ain't making me feel safe.
Let's stand up and go to the bathroom so we can flush your eyes. Come on. I'll help you up.
Can you let go of me? I can get myself up.
No, you've been sprayed with it. 1, 2, 3. Stand up.
You do not make me feel safe. I said
1, 2, 3. Stand up.
times, could you please let go of me? Remove yourself from me so I can get myself together.
That's not how this works, man. Come on. Stand up.
Oh,
Come on. Stand up. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Come on, man. Do you want to get your eyes flushed out? Let's go. Come on, man.
I said I don't feel safe.
All right, he doesn't feel safe now. So yeah, at this point, he's pretty much trolling at this point. But you know, what can you do?
Okay, do you want the nurse to help you up? Because she's standing right here. Would you like her to help you up?
I don't feel safe.
Do you want the nurse to help you?
I feel very cold.
I can tell you, he's got something inside that backpack. I can tell you that much. There's absolutely something inside that backpack.
I can't even.
Can me and Mr. Perry help you
I can't
up,
even
okay?
feel my throat.
If Officer McRae
He got
steps
it.
away, can
Yeah.
I
The
help
officer almost got it.
I can't even feel my
Dude, chill with the
throat.
bag, man.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take your stuff and steal
I
it.
know you're not trying to take my stuff and steal it. You is not making me feel safe, and I told you
Come
to
on,
please
man.
remove yourself from me.
I'm trying to help you stand up so we can go to the bathroom.
I
This
never
is too
fought
much.
you.
Yo.
I never
Stand up
resisted
for us,
anything.
okay?
Can you please remove yourself away from
The
me?
pepper spray's not hurting
Let's
too
let go
much.
of you. Can we help you stand up and get you to the restroom to flush your eyes out, okay? The reason it's hard
Look
to
at that. The
breathe
officer
is
actually
you
left him
inhale
alone.
some of that pepper spray, okay? That's going to ease up
Now,
eventually, but
that would never happen on the streets. The officer backing off for a second, that would never happen in the streets. That only happens is happening right now because this is a kid or a teenager. He's not a kid, but a teenager. He's got the mind of a kid.
you need to flush your eyes out. That's the only way it's going to get out of your eyes. Your eyes are going to continue to burn.
Officer tired as heck.
So can we calmly get you into a restroom to flush your eyes out? Can you do that for me, okay?
So now he doesn't want to move.
Officer McRae has let go of you and he has stepped away, but he is still here monitoring our situation, okay?
There was no situation. I told them.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to make sure you're okay. So in order to get your eyes flushed,
Keep
we
in
need
mind,
you
there's
to-
still a black brethren here with us, so we still got some brothers here for us just to witness everything, okay?
to a restroom and start splashing cool water on your eyes to flush all that irritant out.
Even though he's probably like, you know what, I'm just gonna go home.
Okay.
Get paid enough for this.
I'm sure that he will.
Can we do that, or are we just going to sit here?
entirety of the story.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there. Yo, this kid is you gotta admire the resolve of this kid. This is great. He's literally running the show right now. They're literally all waiting for him. And this is why, as police officers, you can't let the perpetrators run the show. Because if you do, you're at their will and their control. Now you have 6 adults who are sitting looking at a 16-year-old, 15-year-old child and waiting on him right at this point in time. Right now he controls the situation as they wait for his parents now, or his dad. Now somebody said, well, why didn't they just talk to her or call his dad? You can't. It's illegal to talk to the minor without first addressing the child. Yeah, partially yes, partially no. If there's potential for a threat and for foul play to happen, or if there's a safety concern, then your parents don't have to be notified first. The police officers are going to come deal with you, and then your parents will get notified whenever you get notified if there's a legitimate concern, right? They're not going to call you first and be like, hey, we're on the way to go pick up little Johnny because somebody said something. No, they're going to go to school, show up. What's the problem? Who's little Johnny? Okay, come with us, little Johnny. And then your parents might be notified. Maybe during that process, maybe after that process. I saw a lot of comments of people saying, oh, well, they should have just waited for his people to get up there. Well, they didn't know what the situation is. Cops don't know what these situations are. As a matter of fact, if you've ever watched any of these shows, if you watch like first, like I forget the show. It used to be Live PD, I think, and a few other shows. When cops get these 911 calls, oh, I know what it was. It was a movie. That movie that Halle Berry played in, I think it was called like 911 or Emergency or something like that. People call into the 911 like with like panicked about crazy stupid stuff, like screaming like, oh my God, there's a cat jumping from my neighbor's roof, and so and then on the other hand, people call for ludicrously crazy things too. And then on the other hand, people call and say ludicrously crazy things. And then when cops get to the scene or situation, it's nothing crazy whatsoever. It's just two people having somewhat of a verbal argument or dispute. But the person that called 911 was like, I see two people arguing and I think one of them has a gun. And I don't know. I'm really scared right now. They've been threatening. And yeah, he has a gun. When really it was the dude who had a cell phone who's talking to, his wife. Right, when he got into an argument with the neighbor. But when police officers show up, they're expecting somebody with a gun and fight and blood to already be on the street, because this is how these things go. This is what happens. So police officers are driving into a situation completely blind at 100% of the time, not knowing what's going on, knowing that there's probably people that look like me with hair like mine that don't like them, knowing that there's kids that could potentially have something that take away their life that don't like them, right? It's a lot to add up. But once again, on the mainstream media side of things, it would be made out to seem like, oh, he grabbed his hair, he's just a racist. This is such a complex, story right here. So this is a lot to break down. So now we're all waiting on the kid now, which I hate doing as an adult. I don't wait on children.
Sergeant card for disorderly conduct. Also advise 201 or 200. I've got one pepper spray here at East Ridge High School.
We can get him to the office. Would that be you?
Just advise East Ridge just to stand by. The kid has called his dad. His dad's irate, so the dad may end up coming to the school.
So now the dad's on the way. The dad is irate. Now we have another element of stress to potentially add to the situation. Irate dad. Did the dad possibly have any firearms as well?
We need to get his eyes decontaminated.
Yeah.
We need to get his eyes flushed out.
Can we walk you into the restroom?
There's one right down the stairs.
I don't feel the same. You still got this man.
I have to be here at this point.
Unfortunately, I can't control that.
I'm
Okay?
doing I didn't resist to anything. Minding my own business.
All right, so we're going to fast forward because I'm sure that's not going to change until when the dad shows up. So here we go.
Is this your dad? I guess.
He is.
You okay, Commander?
Dad is
For
here.
now. Are you his dad, sir? I'm sorry. Can I speak to you out here, please?
All right, well, dad's not as irate as we thought.
Deputy McRae, I'm there, sir, up here at the high school.
Man.
So the situation is your son and a coach are mad at each other for whatever reason. I'm just there to be seen and try to keep the peace for whatever reason. Well, your son starts getting more agitated, raising his voice, disrupting the entire gym. At this point, that's disorderly conduct, but I'm not really wanting to do anything with it at this point. But he goes to walk away, and one of my things that I try to do here with all the kids is try to pull them to the side after they've had a confrontation with a teacher and go, let me holler at you real quick, let me talk to you, try to squash whatever this is that you got going on. So as he walks away, I put my hand on his shoulder and say, hey, man, come here, let me talk to you for a second. He squares off with me and says, you got 5 seconds to get your hands off me.
And that's exactly what happened. Right? Now I want to bring to light once again that mainstream article, right? I want to bring to light that mainstream article. It says a disturbing video reveals that this teenager was manhandled. and pepper sprayed after he refused to leave a school gym because he didn't want to play. You see how the mainstream news just kind of F's all that up? It's very, very, very interesting.
Like, really?
The dad's obviously understanding. The dad is concerned, but he's listening. He's nodding his head. Okay, officer.
Like, at that point, now I'm feeling threatened because you're
Right.
squaring up on me. Why are you doing this? As he's walking away, I was like, look, dude, come here. I need to talk to you. You're causing a huge scene. You're yelling. You're causing disruption to the entire gym. He goes sit down in the bleachers. I said, look, even Mr. Perry wants you to get your stuff. You at least got to go to in-school suspension or whatever he wants to do with you for now. I said, but get your stuff. Come on, get up, go. But he keeps yelling, causing disruption. I was like, all right, man. That's over. You got to take a ride for this order at this point. He caused this big scene. I'm okay. You can open there. At this point, you got to ride with me. He caused this big freaking scene, everything else. So I grab him by his arm to go to stand him up, and he starts fighting me. So I'm using everything I can to not tumble down the bleachers with him. Do I grab his hair? Yeah, I do. Because I'm grabbing for whatever I can to try to get a hold of him, to try and detain him and get him in handcuffs as peacefully as I can.
So he even told the father, did I grab his hair? Yeah, I did. Did I grab his y'all be too much. Van Garcia says best cry ever. He can't breathe. He can clutch though. I can't breathe. Y'all hilarious. Did I grab his hair? Yes, I did. Diana Princess clearly said he didn't teach his son to respect authority. He knows damn well, Diana Prince says, his son don't respect him as a dad either. Ooh, that's deep. Faith Factor says the left-wing news media has an agenda to demonize the police. Faith Factor in the building. Make sure you subscribe to Faith Factor. Appreciate you being here, Faith Factor. Good to see you in the building. There is an agenda to demonize the police. My thing is this, and this is the thing that obviously I think a lot of us need to really come to grips and to terms with, is that if the police just go or are gone, we don't have the infrastructure needed to have some sort of civil obedience, right, in our communities. But B, a lot of Black people don't like the image of guns and self-protection, right? Which is why they vote Democrat and they want more gun control and things of that nature. But the Democrats are also the ones that want less police. So it's like, okay, the criminals get less time and then there's less police. It's like a quadruple whammy in one, yo. It's crazy to think about. Most Black people, most Democrats don't want guns. So if the police are gone, the same people that you call to show up to protect you with guns, when somebody bad does something to you, you call them because they have guns. A lot of Democrats don't like, I don't like that. We need to, okay, cool. I listen, if I can wave the magic wand too, I would do the same thing. And then on top of that, the criminals will still have guns. Bad people are still going to keep guns. So now the police are gone because you want to defund them, Lori Lightfoot. You want to defund them, whoever the New York, you want to defund them, Gavin Newsom in California. But the criminals' guns are still there. So just like New Orleans, the average police response time, 2 hours. In New Orleans, the average police response time is 2 hours. Hello. The police won't even get to you right now, even with their guns, because they've been defunded, right? So now if something goes down, what are you going to do? You going to pray at them? That's what my mom says. And respect to my mom, but it's just, I'm like, Mom, it angers me so much. And a lot of our older religious zealots, she'd be like, oh, son, God got me. Mom, some of the disciples were stoned. Hello. Some of the people that followed Jesus got killed. Did God protect them? So it's like this really commonsensical element that I feel like with Democrats, I'm like, I'm not saying that white people aren't racist. Some white people aren't racist. I'm just saying that there's a cultural problem with the Democratic Party as it relates to Black people and the progression of our stagnation, or the stagnation of our progression. I might like it the first way better. So let's get rid of the police. Let's let the criminals out earlier. And let's be more understanding of the criminals. It's a crazy proposition, man. It's like, damn, that's crazy, yo. Not all of that. Freaking crap.
But he's not wanting me to do that.
And to the comment that said he doesn't respect his dad at home. The dad sounded so upset until he got to the office, until he got to school, and he piped down immediately. This nigga was screaming on the phone when he got in front of that officer. Officer, yes, sir. Okay. You on the phone. Don't you stay right there. Stay right there. I thought he was about to come up shooting the place. Well, he got there nice and cordial. Well, now having said that, no, I'm not going to say that. All right, let's continue here.
And then I'm trying to take the backpack off of it. I tell him, hey, man, take the backpack. I'm not trying to steal your stuff. It's going to go with you. But in order for me to detain you without any further incidents, I need you to take the backpack off. And I let him go. I let him try to do it himself.
I want to give you a huge shout out once again to Miss, I'll just say, Ann, big channel contributor that sent a nice donation off here. Thank you so much, Ann.
Want to, so I grab it again, try to help him get it off. And it's back and forth, back and forth. I keep giving him verbal commands. I'm giving you a lawful order. Take the backpack off. I got to detain you, so on and so forth. Still doesn't listen. So, per my policy, if people were still not listening, even after I've already tried soft and hard hand control, my next step is to go to some form of, baton, taser, pepper spray. I don't want to tase the kid. I'm not trying to hand him all the time. So I use the most compliant force I can, which is the pepper spray, which usually helps kind of lighten that mood and then go, oh shit, that hurts. All right.
So this officer said, I don't want to hurt this kid. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Right. So let's go ahead and play out a couple scenes. Right. And this is where you have the problem. The officer still didn't get the backpack from the kid. If we rewind the video right now, we're at the 35-minute mark. We left with the officer literally sitting, letting the kid sit on the ground right here. And they have not gotten the backpack off of him. He's still sitting right on the ground with the backpack on, right? Because he's so concerned about being politically correct. And this is why I give, this is the reality of the situation. In this moment right here, if this kid had a gun in his backpack and he decided to pull it out, he would have time maybe to hit the person in front of him, maybe. With his hands gripped around it, with the position that he's in, when the officer was on top of him, and I know y'all gonna be like, no. When the officer was on top of him right here, these situations, this is more than enough time, y'all, to reach and grab something out of there. I'll tell you what'll happen. The first thing that'll happen if he starts moving and reaching is the officer's gonna jump back and start reaching for his retention holster to try and get his gun out. Because when you have a gun as an officer, your holster, it takes like, it's in there and it has like a button and a certain latch that you have to click. It's like two ways. It's a lot to get a gun out if you're a police officer. So he's going to jump back and try and get his gun out. He might fumble, he might not. This is how police officers get shot. I'll show you really quickly. Let me show you this video that I was talking about of this police officer getting shot. This is how they get shot. You want to see something crazy? Look how fast this happens, man. And you'll see why they're so scared, why they act like the way they do. Because I know a lot of people are like, well, you couldn't take down a little kid? You couldn't take down a kid in high school? Well, he's worried about being on the news, A, and then B, he's actually, worried about what this, what is a lot to worry about. So let's watch this video for a second. Dramatic video. I saw this a few years ago. This is from 2017. Caution, word to the wise. It might be a little, whatever. It's not terrible, actually, but it's a little sad in some instances. I believe this police officer was a black gentleman as well. All right, so here we go.
I'm not come here. If you don't, you better stop, or I would come here.
I'm not gonna lie. At this point, he would have been popped.
Come here.
I might not be able to be a police officer. Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you one more time, bro. Hey, bro, I'm about to shoot you, bro. I'm gonna tell you one last time, bro. Pow. Corporal, I feared for my life, quite frankly, Corporal. even though he was walking away, I felt his menacing spirit, Corporal, and I had to shoot him. I did. They'd be like, okay, administrative leave. Is it right? I don't know. It's just the way things are. Reality versus how you feel.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Look at that. He got his hand on his phone. Look at this, man. This is crazy.
Hands out your pocket. Take your hands out your pocket. If you don't stop, so I'm gonna tase you. I'm not playing with you. Take your hands out your pocket. Take your hands out your pocket. Take your hands out your pocket. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Sheesh.
Dispatch, I'm in! This echo start, I'm in! I'm a Tyson. Dispatch, help.
Care units dispatch or any available units dispatch. Respond. Top station. Fire. Gunshot fire. Subject hit on north. The officer, the suspect.
Dispatch, Echo 7, I'm hit. I'm hit in my neck someplace.
You can see the blood on the on parts of the vehicle.
My arms are broken. Help me, please.
Blood on the steering wheel.
All units 10-3, all units 10-3. Available units 1033 at the top station. An alcohol officer has been shot. 1020, 1033, top station.
I don't know much about
Oh, we got help on the way. The subject still there?
Subject took off. Please help me, dispatch.
Jesus Christ, man.
My left arm is broken. I've been shot in the neck.
You too, I'm close to him. What am I going to? Gunshot wound, officer down at the party shop next to the top station.
Is there anything I can do for you?
Man, where you shot at? Oh my God.
Wait, I'm shot in the chest.
It's in your neck, man. It's not a lot of blood.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I think you might be okay. Stay with me, man.
I'm passing Lake Warren 1017. Echo 7 dispatch.
You get that right here, sir.
I'm here with the officer. My name is Jay Tompkins. I don't know what to do. He's been hit in the neck. Ma'am.
Now, I want you to pay close attention to how long it's taking them to get one of their own medical attention. All right? I want you to put yourself in that position. I want you to understand that there are people just like the guy that shot that police officer that roam around you every single day, every single hour of the day, and you don't even know them. They're part of your communities. They're part of your job circles. They're part of your schooling systems. There are people out here in this world that have no problem doing the ultimate harm to you or to your loved ones. And you seek to take away, the Democrats and the left seek to take away the only thing standing in front of that criminal that'd be willing to do something like that to you. Think about that for a second. Do you think that you're a better shot than a police officer? Do you think you have better response time, training time than a police officer? Do you think that you could really legitimately handle that better on a day-to-day basis? You taking care of yourself and your family while you're at work? What are you going to do when you're at work and the kids are at home and there's no police officers to patrol your city? I want you to do something. Look at the Democratic cities right now that are the most strong Democratic cities and look at the crime rate. There is an absolute an absolute correlation between less police and higher crime, right? Duh, we all know that. So why would you advocate for less police in communities that already have the highest crime? That to me says that you want to take out a portion of the community or a portion of the nation. That's what that says to me. I'll take off my tinfoil hat because a lot of y'all won't stop voting Democrat because that's all you know. This is once again why black people will always be a permanent underclass, because there's a lot of people who are going to see this and be like, how did this nigga turn this from a kid getting swung by his dreadlocks to this kid was wrong and the Democratic Party is evil? How did this Uncle Tom, they'll see me legitimately as Uncle Tom. No, 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 no. I'm not the one you have to worry about. We're not the criminals. I will protect myself and I will chase criminals, and I got guns and I'm proud of putting music videos out with them. I definitely am, but I'm not the criminal element that you have to worry about here. You ain't got to worry about Mr. Jonathan. Okay. It's the people out there that don't care about the politics, that don't care to try and enlighten you right now. Right. That's what you have to worry about. Let's go back to this for a second. All right. I just want to bring that to you. Okay. There are bad people out there. We can't get rid of the police. So there's that video, crazy video. And also in that video, the police officer getting shot. At one point, he says, "Hey, dispatch, can you let my family know, let my wife know I love her, right? Let my family know I love them." So sad, sad, sad video. All right, we're back to the arrest. They couldn't get the backpack off of this kid. So once again, if this kid decided that he just wanted to start bussing and he reached his hand in that backpack, it's as simple as this, y'all. Zoop, I'm good, right? How do I know? I carry a backpack with firearms in mind. You understand what I mean? This is why they do a lot of the things they do. It might come across as racism, but let me tell you something. If you are a white officer, if you are a white person, look at this white dude right here, right? Yo, listen, you don't think you'd be feeling some type of way after seeing this little black kid kind of just, I'd be like, man, I'm kind of tired of these little, I'm getting kind of tired of trade. Now, I'm just saying, this is just human nature. We are who we are as humans, and that's just the reality of the situation. That would play a bit of now, of course, other races of kids rebel towards the police and things of this nature, right? We know that for sure. But the reality is something that we all don't like to really come to terms with and understand, and that is that we do feel and to some extent operate more comfortably around people that look like us, but I think the bigger overriding thing, well, maybe not. It's not more overriding than looking like you, but I think that's something that could go almost hand in tandem, right? Is that the culture is shared between both of you. So when this white dude is looking at this black kid sitting on the floor, there is no culture, there is no connection whatsoever between these people right now. This kid on the floor, this police officer, and these people that are all just watching him, there's no culture, which is why they just are all so disconnected and just like, okay, we're just tired of this. We're tired of it. They're just sitting there. They're like, listen, if they had their way, they just want to snap, you're gone. You're gone. We're tired of dealing with you. Right? And once again, how can you blame said white person when everything in our culture and a lot of things in black culture, the democratic culture, Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, I'm not black. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. That's what Joe Biden said. That's literally what the Democratic president, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That's how close we tie democratic voting to ourselves. If you don't vote Democratic, you're not black. The culture literally tells us to not like white people and to not like police. That's what democratic culture says. Don't like white people, don't like police. As told by a white president right now. Let me show you something, okay? Let me show you something. This is going to blow a lot of y'all's minds. If you're watching right now, you're going to get a big treat out of this video I'm getting ready to show you. I found this video on YouTube Shorts, and it was explaining something that Donald Trump had done. Donald Trump Donald Trump was a pretty solid guy, y'all. Donald Trump was a really solid guy. Get a load of this video. I saw this and I was absolutely amazed. I was like, man, you know, I know he did a good amount of stuff, but I didn't know he was doing this much. Joe Brown brought this to attention, and it looks like there's a resurgence of a conservative type of, you know, black guy kind of coming up to light, which is interesting. But get a load of this video. Y'all get this entertaining.
What is your take on Trump?
The name of this video is Trump a Racist?
Is Trump a racist?
I don't think so. I've talked to a number of black entrepreneurs who back in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s, were trying to get financing. They couldn't. Somebody told them to go check with Donald Trump. So they come back and tell me they got a loan from Donald Trump. He gave them a term loan. Show up with the interest and the principal, one check. But they had to go see him personally. They independently relate this tale that when they saw him, he said, "This what you supposed to pay me? This our agreement?" I said, "Yeah." And then tore the check up, shook their hands, and congratulations. Now run your business.
And this was when?
This was back in the 90s. See, most people don't even know this. He had a sister. He was, every time you saw.
What is your take?
So Trump used to see how serious you were about your business, he would put out to the word because black people couldn't get loans. See, this media thing is crazy, man. They paint this man out to be Satan. Black people couldn't get loans. Remember, we used to have guys calling into the show and be like, THT, slavery, redlining. You know, we had the guy call in and he was explaining to us, I forget his name. Who was that guy that called in? Explaining that he was doing realtor, right? Black dude. He called into the show probably about a year ago saying, THT, you know, you're whatever, black, you know, but I couldn't get any, you know, first time loans so I could start my real estate thing, yada, yada, yada. I said, okay, man, just because it's tougher doesn't mean it's impossible. And what are you going to do? Fucking give up? What are you going to move to another country? You're here in America. What are you going to do? Right? Of course, right over the head. But eventually he got the loans. So if this was happening in the 90s, which it was, what happened was Donald Trump was the person in New York or the northeastern area of the country that was referred to by minorities and to minorities. Donald Trump, yes, the racist white Donald Trump, right? The racist white man, so they claim to say orange man, Donald Trump, was responsible for lending out millions of dollars to black people when nobody else would. Have you ever heard that story in mainstream media? No, you'll never hear that story in mainstream media. Thank God there are people that are willing to speak up on it, because if you were to listen to the mainstream media, you would think that somehow Joe Biden was the person that was responsible. And let me just tell you how crazy this entire thing is. Joe Biden was the one that's responsible for essentially cracking down on crime, right? Really a lot, which is what we like. We like cracking down on crime, right? But how does he become the forefront of democratic progression, which is freeing and giving criminals less jail time? I just don't understand. If I look at the entire belief system as a whole, I'm not saying that there aren't racist white people. I'm just saying when I look at Republicans and when I look at Democrats, I don't understand most of the Democrat ideology. I don't understand how we're claiming that we want freedoms and this and that, but then we vote for people who are trying to take away our freedoms and the ability to protect ourselves and this and that. I don't understand how we claim that we're oppressed and this and that. Well, when we look at the reality of the situation, if white people were to give us the 95% of the wealth that they control, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have any way to actually utilize, to incorporate. We don't have the means that we don't. Not here, not right now. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't have the ability to do anything with it. Most of us, a lot of us. Now, don't be wrong. You can give me some money. I'm gonna figure out something to do with it. I'm gonna flip some kind of something. I'm gonna build some kind of business some kind of way. But the answer still isn't even in that. The answer is within ourselves as a people, which is unifying. It's unifying and becoming like the Vietnamese people when they moved to America, or the Jewish people when they moved to America, or the Irish people, or the Mexican people today when they moved to America, and the white man is out to get them. When the Mexicans are out on these construction sites and the white man is being unfair to them, right? They're just going to all walk off, or they're just going to start talking amongst themselves. They're going to huddle in the corner with their family. They're going to eat their lunches together. They're going to talk to their wives and girlfriends together. Yes, of course, they do normal human things like cheat on their girlfriends and wives. I'm not saying that they're perfect people, that their community is perfect. However, their community is a lot more united, right? United, right? So the way to solve this yet again is still going to come down to essentially building a culture within the community that is seeking to build together. But like I covered last week on another live stream, the girl who said, I'm tired of black excellence. I'm not going to try and do black excellence anymore. She's pretty much blackpilling herself, which she commented on the video. Sweetie, I haven't looked at the comments. I'm sorry. Look at the comment. I know she commented on the video, the girl that we tagged. She was like, thanks for watching the video. So I got to read the comment. I try not to read any comments anymore because it's just comments are crazy, man. Jesus. If you become a content creator, you understand. Just don't read the comments. Your life will be much better. But the video she was talking about, she was like, I'm tired of black excellence, and I'm tired of overworking, and I'm tired of having to work doubly as hard in this country, and I'm tired of doing that. It was kind of all over the place, but she was like, I don't want to have to be black excellent. I just want to be average and this, and that, right? I don't want to be, but she was pretty much explaining why she don't want to be a part of the black excellence community. It sounded like she don't even want to be a part of the black community anymore, which once again goes back to us not having a community to begin with, which is why a lot of black people are upset. A lot of black people are in America right now upset because, and oh dang, I think my camera might die in a second, y'all, so my bad. But I know it's low right now, so it's doing like some kind of flashing type of thing, so it's probably about to go out. But I'll wrap it up in 1 second. Well, let me see if I can. Hold on a second. While I'm talking, listen to Donald Trump. A lot of people, a lot of us are upset because, once again, we realize that we don't have anywhere to go. Let me see if my battery's on. Okay, yeah, I think it just straight up died just now, which if that's the case. Oh, no, it didn't die. Okay, we're still good. I don't know what's up with it, but it's flickering. I'm sorry, y'all. I love you. That's the bigger issue. The solution is to be more united. But if we have people that are unplugging, and I get it, listen, I get it. Why fight for the community that's trash? Why fight for a community that's not going to fight for itself? It's like this repetitive revolving door of black undoing itself, of black undoing this. Well, what's the point of fighting Pookie and Ray Ray? What's the point of fighting when niggas are black people, black guys are killing black women every 5.5 hours? What's the point of fighting if black men are going to be leaving us? So it's like there's at this point, I don't know. I think it's too far gone. I think it's too far gone at this point. We would need a straight up reset. What do I mean by reset? Well, I don't want to get into that right now. We would need a reset because where our culture is pushing right now is self-sufficiency. Become self-sufficient as a black person. Okay, my camera definitely did die. So become self-sufficient as a black person, right? And then you'll be all set to go. Listen, I'm gonna wrap this up because my camera's dead. Maybe it's not, but either way, I'm gonna wrap this up. So you're not gonna see me anymore. I love you. At least not until the next live stream. And let me just make sure. Oh, well, no, the camera's still on. I don't know what's going on with it. Let me turn it back on. I want to take this moment again, once again, to thank all of you for watching. Make sure you like the stream. The numbers are so low. It's like, oh man, I think about things and I'm like, man, at one point I had 1,000 people watching me live, almost 1,000 people watching me live, so, and it does suck, it kind of does suck, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? The only thing you can do is keep pushing, reinventing yourself and figure out a way, right? You can't give up. I'm still doing the camera. Hang on. You can't give up. Even though my camera wants to give up. Okay, I think we're good. Freaking hell. Sorry about the F word. Bam. Never give up. Thank you, Hybrid. Can't give up, right? I want them to see you sweat. Make a plan A, B, C, D, and E. The camera looks terrible, but it is on. All right. Well, listen, y'all, we're going to wrap this thing on up. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. We're going to be back in a little bit. Thank you for everybody once again that donated. I love you so much. Life is good. Make sure you do something very interesting for yourself on the way out. Email me, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. Let me close these dang tabs, man. The controversial arrest. We'll have some more we talk about in a little bit. What else did I want to say? I can't even remember what I was going to say. I can't remember what I was going to say, but Ben Garcia, what happened to your viewers? Were you buying bots for your chat? No, I wasn't buying bots for my chat. My viewers all left me because they hate me. Diana Prince says, THT, check your email. Thanks. I will. Thank you, Diana Prince. All right, y'all. I'm trying to find my video. 1 second. Okay, y'all. I'm really out this time. I got to figure this damn camera out. It's fighting me today, but we gonna be all right. Good night, everybody. Take care. See you very soon.
Eyes out, beats on the track.